Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Something I haven't done in a while actually, which is a thread. I mean, I haven't done one of those in a long time. But I had kind of a cool question that popped up the other day, and I don't know, just thought it was one I would kind of throw out there. But well, first of all, before I get going, this was playing in the background. U2, All You Can't Leave Behind. Well, I guess got the sleeve there so you can't see it, the back, but that's what I got playing in the background. One of the favorite pieces of my collection, not necessarily from a musical standpoint. I mean, there are definitely good songs on here, but by far not my favorite album. But from a collector's standpoint, this is definitely a piece that I'm really, really happy to have in my collection. These aren't the easiest to find there. But anyway, for my thread, yesterday I was taking a friend home, and she happens to live near a record store, which of course that's bad because, you know, every time you go to her place, there's obviously going to have to go by the record store because it's like right there. But and so anyway, I took her home yesterday, and then I went to the record store, and I'm in the record store or whatever, and I'm kind of doing my thing. I'm not really looking for anything in particular or nothing. So I'm flipping through the records, and I'm hearing this music playing, and I'm just like, good gracious, who is that? I mean, it was just some 60s soul stuff, and I'll show you a bit later. Actually, I'll probably show you in the answer to my question, or the answer to this thread, I should say. But I'm just listening to stuff going, gosh, that is good. So I go up front and ask, who is it? They keep what they're playing on a little stand up front. And so I'm looking at it and everything, and I'm like, man, this is really good stuff. So I look around for a little while longer, then I'm getting ready to walk out, and I'm like, okay, let me go in my car, get my phone, because I'm not one of those people that has to have my phone on me 24/7. So I go into my car and get my phone, and I look it up on the internet just to make sure it's priced right. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's more than reasonably priced what they have on there. So then I go back inside just to get it. But when I go back inside, there's a guy standing in the front of the line that's kind of checking out. Well, while he's checking out, he's hearing this stuff too, and so he picks it up and he's looking at it. And he's kind of, reading and taking his time. And I'm just standing behind him just like, okay. And then the guy behind the counter, he's standing there looking at me too because he knows exactly what's going on. He's like, I know what you're coming back for. I see him eyeballing this thing. And the guy behind the counter is just like looking at me with this little smirk on his face because he's knowing I'm just waiting to see what this guy says. It was so funny. But so anyway, after a while, the guy puts it back on the stand, and the second he does that, the guy behind the counter grabs it and goes, "You wanted this?" And the guy turns around and looks at me, and he's like, "Yeah," and he starts laughing and everything. And so the guy that was standing in front of me, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. The guy behind the counter goes, "Yeah, he was in here earlier, and he was really eyeballing that." And the other customer in line, he was like, "No, I don't think he was eyeballing. I think he was earballing it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing." But I don't know. I thought it was just kind of a funny story to give you the background of where my thread question came from. But I just never heard the term earballing before. Obviously we all heard eyeballing, and maybe you guys have, but I've never heard earballing before. So I thought that was kind of funny. And so I thought, that might be kind of a cool thread question, is to go back to the VC and ask you guys to share, whether it's 1 or 10, 20, whatever it might be, records that you discovered through earballing. And I think ideally what I'm thinking about in this question is you went to a record store and you heard something playing that you had no idea maybe who the artist was or who the record was, just kind of no clue. You just heard it in a record store or at a record show or something, and then you just said, "Who is that? I gotta have it," and you went and bought it. Ideally, kind of right there on the same day. So that's kind of the thread question. That's the earballing thread. Records and bands that you discovered just by overhearing them in a record store or someplace, and then like basically that same day you went out and got the record or bought the one you heard playing or whatever. So that is the thread. For those of you too, I do notice a lot of people in the VC that live in areas where they're not necessarily near record stores, so you don't necessarily get to hang out in record stores, and you order a lot of your stuff online and that type of thing. Modify the question, any way you feel where you can answer it. But again, ideally, what I was thinking when I was asking the question was, I would like to know the records and CDs or whatever that you discovered by walking into a record store, hearing it, and 5 minutes later you bought it. So that's the thread, guys. Hope you enjoy it. It's been a long time since I've done a thread, so I'm definitely looking forward to your answers. I'm thinking I need to associate some type of prize with it, or maybe a drawing for entries, but I didn't even think about that. I'll do that next thread. All right? So have a good one, VC, and look forward to seeing your answers to your videos. Take care.